Ooh. Okay, now we are live, hopefully. So earlier we went on live and the settings were set to private. So we just logged back on just to make sure that we have this as a public broadcast. Yeah, that makes sense. And then don't mind the adjustment to make sure this thing is level, because it's not on a tripod mount. It's actually on a wine bottle. So you guys are just joining. It's now the rebroadcast. And if you're new here, we like to premiere videos and do a live broadcast beforehand. So the new video drops in about 20 minutes. So this video is mainly as an update before dropping the video. In this video, you will see the Zuri 150 millimeter, and it's a pretty cool bait. And you'll see we fished in really windy conditions, and the bait performed really well in terms of casting. It does have a nice wide wobble. And then also with this live, we'll be going over the meetup, which will be happening July 16th. And that's going to be at Guadalupe Beach, California. So it's pretty easy to Google map that one and get there. So one more adjustment. Okay, perfect. So the meetup is going to be at Guadalupe, California, 7 a.m. That's what time the gate officially opens. However, people do say that you can get there around 6:30 and the gate's already open. And there is limited parking available. There's about 40 parking spots at Guadalupe. And let's see. Yeah, since there's only 40 spots and there's at least 20 something people that already said for sure they're gonna go, it might make sense to carpool. And then ultimately, if you get there a little bit later and there's no more parking left inside the park, you can park outside the gate, which is about a third of a mile back, and then we can hopefully give you a ride back in. One of us, including myself, will be able to get in our car, come pick you up, and bring you back, including all your gear. And that's another frequently asked question. With Guadalupe, the beach is very steep. There's deep holes literally everywhere. Current is typically pretty strong at Guadalupe Beach, and that does sometimes require 3-ounce sinkers if you're going to be doing some sort of sandworm or sand crab rig. Definitely go with a heavier weight. And then what else? Another frequently asked question. What to bring? If you'd like, go ahead and bring snacks, anything that you may need to be comfortable. The weather should be in the high 60s. So a nice windbreaker jacket might help, or even just a hoodie might be worth having. So again, if you're just joining us, we are going over the Hook to Cook meet, and that will be Tuesday, the 16th at Guadalupe Beach, California. And that's literally 20 minutes away from where we film pretty much most of our videos. You will be seeing more videos out at Guadalupe, because what happens during the summer months is the surf perch end up migrating south a little bit from where we normally fish. Because what happens in those months is the holes at Oceano tend to really start to not bottom out, but they tend to get a little bit shallower. So Guadalupe and Oso Flaco end up being way better options in terms of, they are premiering a video here in about a little bit under 20 minutes. It's going to be the Zuri Hydro Minnow, and what my opinion is, and do I think it'll catch fish eventually? And the answer, just spoiler alert, is absolutely. This bait definitely looks good. And then speaking of baits, stay tuned. Hook to Cook will be releasing an exclusive paint job on a Duo Realis style bait. It's going to be a glow sardine pattern, and this glow sardine pattern is sick. If you guys haven't seen that, check the updates. Frank, hello, Frank. Welcome, welcome. Tell Pat we said hello. Veronica was just here a few moments ago, and she saw my ingenuity. This phone that we're doing the live broadcast on right now is actually duct taped to a wine bottle because we only have one tripod, and she's actually using it right now for her exercise. Let's see. Update on the swag at the beach for the meetup. We weren't able to get the order in time for like shirts and sweaters and things, but we did get stickers, so that's pretty cool. We got about 100 of these We're on the Hunt Hook to Cook stickers that work on bumpers. They also work on coolers, tackle boxes, anything you'd want, weather resistant, UV resistant, and they look really cool. So pretty happy about how these came out. So yeah, we got a bunch of them. So bam. But yeah, that bait is going to be really nice. That we're going to be able to throw. And yeah, no, it's been a while too since we've done a premiere. And then B, there's been somewhat of a transition period where the fish are definitely starting to move a little bit more south. It seems like the deeper pockets are staying around the southern end of our area. So you'll definitely start to see new beaches on this channel coming up. And with new beaches come new challenges. One of the challenges, we cannot drive on the beach. And if you guys aren't familiar, Oceano, the beach that we've been driving on in these videos, the local community has been threatening to shut that down. And what we'll do is at the bottom of the description, well, at the bottom of this video in the description, we're going to put a link where you can actually sign a petition to keep that beach open to vehicles. There's literally just a handful or less beaches that you can actually drive on due to regulations and due to protection of the snowy plover. And the Oceano specifically shutdown is due to the dust from the people who live there. They don't like the dust that gets kicked up by off-road vehicles, which is sad because the beach, literally, you've been able to drive on that beach for almost 100 years, and all these houses, you definitely moved in after that, and you knew the beach was right there, and you knew that the dust happened. So why are you going to complain about it and try to ruin everyone else's fun? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Just no. Don't shut down something that everyone enjoys because you live there and you move there after everyone's been enjoying it for generations, right? What's up, Adrian? Cali Surfcaster, welcome, brother. Oh, man. Yeah, next time you're in this area, brother, give like a long heads up. So what happened was Adrian came down last week to come and fish, and fortunately we were able to connect him with somebody else to go fish with for a little bit. So timing wasn't, very well. So Adrian did come by this area, and him and I weren't able to connect, which I feel bad because every time I went to Monterey, both times Adrian was there, and man, I really appreciate it, and I wish I could have taken the day off, but I couldn't. Welcome, Curtis. Good to see you, brother. Let's see. Going back to Oceano and the shutdown of that beach, it is because of a lot of people who are concerned about the environment, which legislators use the environment as an excuse to restrict things all the time, especially here in California. And it's really sad. It's really sad. A lot of things that we grew up doing, we cannot do anymore because of environmental restrictions. And then, yeah, these people's hearts are in good places in terms of restricting things. However, it does impact the environment in kind of side effects, right? Like here's a good example. A good example is the otter, the sea otter, and the sea lion have been protected for a really, really long time. What happens is the balance of the environment, the ecosystem starts to get thrown off. And now there's all these predators, no natural predators for them other than great white sharks, and they get to run amok. They get to eat all the clams, they get to eat all the crabs, and they get to scare all the fish away, all because they're protected. And now there's a ton of them. You go to any pier here in California, and you're gonna see big old lazy sea lions just hanging out on the pier, farting and stinking up a storm. You guys know. You guys know. And it's because they're protected species. You're not allowed to do anything about it, right? They can rob the salmon right from your hook, and there are no consequences to them. You can't do anything. No. Nope, 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 nope. Mario Gutierrez, he's a good friend, and he's actually on Facebook in our group, Hook to Cook Family. And he brought in a white sea bass, a big, probably 15, 20-pound white sea bass, and a sea lion got a hold of it. Fortunately, he was able to wrestle the white sea bass away from the sea lion. But again, just going back to environmental concerns and bills being passed to protect this species, it does wreak a little bit more havoc than creating good for our local ocean. But then again, going back as well, for those who are just joining us live now, just an update. Exactly 1 week from today is the Hook to Cook meet, and it's going to be really cool. And the main focus to this Hook to Cook meetup is so that we can all meet each other, and that's the biggest thing that we want to create in this channel, in this group, is the ability for us to make lifelong friends that we can continue to fish with, to share experiences with. Without this group, without this channel, Adrian wouldn't have been in our lives, and Francis wouldn't have been in our lives. Pat and Frank Manchaca wouldn't be in our lives. Martin, Dylan, Bob, none of you guys would be part of our lives. So we definitely want to create these relationships that we can look back in 10 years and be like, gosh, that was a good time. And cast we wouldn't mind hosting you, bro, for sure. For sure. Save you some money. If money's the reason you can't come to the meet, dude, stay with us, bro. Stay with us. Curtis says, I fish from San Diego to Malibu Beach, and I agree, too many seals are taking a toll on our fishery. Yeah, no, that's definitely a big issue. Is all these people, their hearts again are in a completely good place. You know, let's protect the sea lions because they're whatever, because they're beautiful and they're. Oh man, no, no. And then eventually, what happens too is the environment takes back, control. We saw a good amount of dead seals on the beach because of the toxins in the water, and of course, those toxins were probably fed by a lot of their excrement getting into the water and feeding the plankton, and yeah, just everything just continues to get off balance when humans get involved and try to create imbalance in nature. And yeah, so that same concept of conservation of a certain species is impacting our ability to drive on the beach. So yeah, you fish from San Diego to Malibu. In our area on the Central Coast, there is a specific beach that we're able to drive on, and these people want to take away driving on the beach and people have been driving on this beach for 100 years now, and there's a city right outside of the place that we actually drive. And a lot of the people are complaining that there's too much dust in the air because of all the people who are driving their off-road vehicles just outside of the zone that we fish and we drive on. And they want to create bills where they block all that off and they disallow vehicles to drive on there. So anyway, Adrian says, I was thinking about oil leaks and more trash on the beach when it comes to cars. That is a good concern as well. A lot of people hang out there during 4th of July, the summer months, and there is some trash that ends up on the beach, and that is terrible. That is definitely terrible. Hopefully there's more responsible people, so maybe they did this to themselves, right? But again, it's just been they've allowed driving for so long, and that's not even a reason why they're shutting it down. The biggest complaint is the dust, right? So that's the biggest thing. So like, let's put it this way. If you you move into a place like a lot of these people did, they moved right next to the beach. Of course, these houses are super expensive, and that's probably why their voices are being heard so well too, because they're probably pretty well off, or at least money's not an issue in their lives. But when they talk, their voices are heard, and they complain about the dust, which they knew was there like the first year that they lived there, right? So, and no, not to be mad at that. Just people, people know what avenues to talk to or talk into in order to be heard, and that's that's a key to life. If you want to achieve something, you got to learn what avenues your voice would be heard the most. And for us, it's YouTube and Facebook. And we'll leave that link in the description on this video so that if you feel like you want to sign this petition and keep that beach open so that you can enjoy it on your four-wheel drive vehicle, definitely go below and click that button. But right now it is 5:56 a.m. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. Again, if you're new to this, Curtis, we haven't seen your name too much, but if you happen to be new, definitely hit that subscribe button and just tune in. We do have a lot going on. We'll be having a lot more going on into the summer as well. And we're gonna be fishing some new beaches. We're gonna be trying some new lures. Speaking of new lures, before we go, this channel does have its own specific lure color coming out, and it's gonna be a custom lure. It's gonna have an awesome paint job. It's gonna have multiple clear coats, so it's gonna last. It's gonna be high quality, and it's gonna come with upgraded hardware, so you don't need to swap them out when you get it out of the package, and it's just gonna be a nice bait. So stay tuned for that. Krister, long time no see. Hope everything is going well. Curtis, he says, can't wait to see it. Yeah, this bait's gonna be real nice, and it glows in the dark. Stay tuned on this page. We're gonna post just a couple more pictures of it. That bait should be here this week. And then we're gonna start a full production line on these baits. It's gonna be in competition with Lucky Craft, because what happens, especially recently, the Super Glow Sardine, specific color of the Lucky Craft, has sold out everywhere. Tackle Warehouse, Amazon, everywhere. So we needed to create